Hello everyone. In a previous video, talking about the SRs in BT1 to BT3, I did say that I'd be going through and showing off some of my other favourite cards based on just the artwork alone, and cards that have great sentimental value to me. So in this video, I wanted to go through a few of those. Now, if you have watched any of my other videos, or if you know me in person, then you'll know that I am very big on a very specific Digimon game from my childhood, which is Digimon World. So obviously this copy here is very battered and beaten up. In fact, it only pretty much has a manual, which is sellotaped together inside, and then the disc and a cracked case. This is my copy of Digimon World from when I was a kid, and this is my cat walking across it, thanks. Yeah, I love this game. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. It has a lot of flaws, and I'm sure that anyone who didn't play it as a kid that tried to pick it up nowadays would probably be frustrated to all hell trying to play it. But for me, it holds enormous nostalgic value, and I still play it very regularly. So Digimon World, one of my favourite games of all time, and so I was very happy to see that the Digimon card game makes plenty of references to Digimon World within some of its card art. So what I'm going to be doing is going through some of the ones that I picked out from my folder. I'm fairly sure that I've picked up all the ones that I could think of. If there are any that you think that I've missed, please leave them down below in the comments. Also, there are plenty more references coming in the future sets from what I've seen on the Japanese website. For example, I saw there was a green Leomon who is carrying an injured Patamon in his arms away from some Goblimon, which is clearly a reference to Leomon in Gear Savannah, for anyone that played the game. But once that set comes out, I'll definitely be looking forward to picking those ones up and maybe do an updated video. But for now, let's go through what we've got from the ST1 to 3 and also from BT1 to 3. So to start off with, the only card from the starter decks that I could find with references to Digimon World is this Gurumon here. So in Digimon World, Gurumon hangs out between Friesland and Misty Trees. He will fight you early in the morning and ask for a rematch in the afternoon. So this artwork to me reminds me heavily of that area because it was, you know, partially snowy, partially misty, with bits of ground and green. So it's sort of like a perfect recreation as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, really like this one. This is possibly a bit of a stretch, this one, because it's not an obvious like clear reference, whereas some of the other cards are far more direct than that. But I do really like that Gurumon. So as I said, that was the only starter deck card that I could find with a reference. The next one from BT1, we have Tannemon. So Tannemon in Digimon World is your meat farm starter. So in Digimon World, for those who don't know, you are essentially raising and caring for a Digimon, similar to the Tamagotchi pets and the original Digimon V pets, obviously. So one of the things that you can feed them is meat, and Tannemon is there from the very start to give you 3 pieces of meat per day to help your Digimon. So thought this was a really cool throwback right here. Got Tannemon harvesting some meat. Okay, the next card we have is Muchemon. So one of the first areas that you get to in Digimon World is called the Tropical Jungle, and the first time you arrive, you are dropped on a beach, and there you will see Muchemon running up and down the beach. So yeah, I thought this was really cool. Again, this might be one of those stretches, I guess, but for me, as soon as I saw this artwork, I thought, oh yeah, it's Muchemon for Tropical Jungle. Yeah, plus Muchemon's just really cute. Okay, the next one we have is this Gabumon here. So in Digimon World, Gabumon hides in misty trees around the back. My cat just walked over the card, but that's cool. And that's what it looks like to me. So Gabumon's actually hiding at the back, and he doesn't want to fight. Eventually you're able to bring him out and just have a little scuffle and then take him back to the city. But to me, that's what this looks like, and that's what it reminded me of straight away. So really like this one. Okay, now for a much more direct reference. So Metal Greymon, the secret rare from BT1. So in Digimon World 1, Metal Greymon can be found inside Mount Infinity, which is one of the end game areas. And it's the blue Metal Greymon specifically with this little green grid at the bottom. So this is almost like they've taken it directly out of the game. It's excellent. And it's also a really nice card to boot. Obviously, the alt art of this one is a reference to the original Digi Battle card game artwork, but this card in particular is based on Digimon World Mount Infinity, so that's really cool. Okay, the next one we have is Toy Agumon. So, Toy Agumon in Digimon World can be found in Toy Town. Now, this artwork isn't clearly Toy Town. It's kind of difficult to tell based on what's around him. I mean, you've got trash, etc. So you could say it could well be Trash Mountain. However, you can see in the back you've got Tannemon, who is in Toy Town, and also you've got one of the PCs, which is how you find items in the game. Also, something I've only just noticed just now is this ray gun here. The ray gun is the Digivolution item for Vademon in Digimon World. So, yeah, plenty of references in this card. Really cool. Next up, we have Andremon. So Andremon is in Factorial Town. He hangs in the controller area, and essentially he looks after Factorial Town. Now, when you first meet him, he doesn't think that there's anything wrong, and he tells you to go away. But actually, in reality, there is something going on in Factorial Town, poisoning the water supply. So he does end up helping you. But yeah, this image here, you can see Andremon at his computer. Looks almost exactly the same. Well, with nostalgia goggles on anyway. So yeah, really cool. Next up is Metal Greymon. So another Metal Greymon, another blue one. However, this one looks like it's based on the opening cinematic from Digimon World. So in the opening cinematic, it's very 90s. You've got the blue Metal Greymon facing off against a Metal Marmiman in a desert. So this looks like almost shot for shot from that cinematic. Really cool. Next up, and funnily enough, this one I only realised today was probably a reference, in fact I'm fairly certain it is Penguinmon. So if you look at Penguinmon from here, it's not necessarily clear what's going on in this picture, but actually if you look very carefully, you see Penguinmon is holding a curling stone and on a red circle, and in the background you have Metal Marmiman, and also I'm not sure what Digimon that is, but he's hanging out as well. So in Digimon World, Penguinmon hosts a curling minigame in the Colosseum. And if you also recruit Metal Marmiman, then he also joins the curling arena. So it's just really cool that that's clearly what they were going for here. Plus, if you've played the first Digimon World, the music is amazing in here. So it's so fun. Next up is Kudemon, or Kudemon? Who knows? When you find him in Digimon World, he hangs out in a place called Kudemon's Bed in the area surrounding the city. And yeah, he sits up in a tree, and you have to feed him in order to get him to come down. So most people feed him a Digi Mushroom because they are essentially free food. So yeah, that's clearly what this was based on. Really nice card. And I just like Kudemon. I think he's underrated. Really cool. Next one is Psychomon, or Psychomon, I'm not sure. So you can find Psychomon in a few places in Digimon World, but one of the places you can find him is on the path to Trash Mountain, which I'm fairly certain is what's going on here. So you can see things are broken down in the background, and if you've played Digimon World and got to Trash Mountain, then this will look very familiar. So very cool. Next up, a relation of Psychomon, we've got Gurumon. So Gurumon is the alternate version of Garurumon, and in this image, he is standing on a green grid similar to the Metal Greymon secret rare that we showed earlier. This is Gurumon in Mount Infinity as well. So in the earlier parts of Mount Infinity, the ground is a lot more sort of like squares and lines on it. So that's exactly what this is, and you can see from the walls as well. Yeah, really cool. You can also find him in the Infinite Cauldron in Digimon World Next Order, so it could be a reference to that as well. Next on the list is Ghiramon or Ghiramon. I think it's Ghiramon because it's using an I instead of a Y. So in Factorial Town, I mentioned earlier that Andremon doesn't know that something is going on and is poisoning the water supply. The cause of that is actually Gurumon. In the back of the factory, he is destroying all the computers who monitor the water supply, which is allowing it to basically dump the waste in and poison it. So this picture looks like it's inspired by Gurumon smashing up all the computers. When you meet him in the game, he is just tearing things up in this exact fashion. So I thought that was really cool. Next up, a continuation from a previous reference is Metal Marmiman. So I said in the opening cinematic that a blue Metal Greymon is fighting a Metal Marmiman in a desert. Well, what does this look like to you? Yeah, it's essentially a counterpart to that card. So really cool that they brought that one in as well. Another one we have here is Tsukomong. So I hadn't actually looked too closely at this card, but if you look just here, you can see there's like a power outlet sticking out the ground, and you've got trees hanging around. So Tsukomong can be found in a few places in Digimon World, but one of the places you can find him is in the Overdale Cemetery in the tropical jungle. So this looks exactly like where he is right now, looking all cheeky and stuff. Love Tsukomong. Okay, Sabredramon. This is last but not least. Sabredramon is obviously a badass dark version of Birdramon, and in this picture he is in the Ancient Speedy Zone. So there's an area in Digimon World called the Ancient Dino Region, and there are two areas, the Ancient Glacial Region, where time goes extremely slowly, and the Ancient Speedy Region, where time goes really fast. So when you're trying to navigate through the Speedy region, hoping that your Digimon doesn't pass away in front of your eyes, you have to face off against Sabredramon. It's a really cool part of the game, and yeah, really cool throwback here. And then just before we finish, I do have one bonus image here, which is it's a reference to the old card game, but also something which is referenced in Digimon World. So we have to stop fighting. Now this artwork is obviously hilarious and excellent, and it is based on old cards, but one of the things that I thought was interesting was Muchemon being unzipped and having eyes coming out. So in Digimon World, when you get to Toy Town, you'll find a Muchemon like stuffed animal just in one of the rooms, and you can't do anything with it. He doesn't have any life or anything. He's essentially just a shell. So what you can do is, if you train up a Numemon, you can actually get him to go to the Muchemon and go through the zipper in the back and digivolve to Muchemon that way. So I just thought this was a cool little bonus thing. It's probably not meant to be a reference to Digimon World, as I'm sure that there are other parts of the Digimon universe that reference that, but I did think it was a cool little bonus to add on to the end. So that's it for my favourite Digimon World references in the Digimon card game. Obviously, like I said, there's more coming in BT4, so I'm really excited and looking forward to those. I love that Digimon knows its audience. I feel it knows that the majority of Digimon fans are probably not children, and so putting in references to people that have been with the series for a long time is it's a really nice touch. I do appreciate it. Okay, everyone, thanks for watching. I'll be back with another video soon.